What if I told you buying the right SUV could save you $15,000 over 5 years? Consumer Reports just shredded every SUV recommendation you've ever heard. 7 vehicles, near perfect scores, and the #1 pick, it's not what anyone expected. But here's what's really shocking. 3 of these SUVs have been deliberately kept off bestseller lists by dealerships who make more money selling you something else. The final reveal will change how you shop for SUVs forever. We're counting down from 7 to 1, and each vehicle gets more controversial. By number 3, we'll expose why mechanics are secretly buying these for their own families. And the top pick, even the engineers didn't see it coming. But stick around for number 1, because there's a reason it's been called the SUV that embarrassed an entire industry. Miss it, and you'll never know what you're actually paying for at the dealership. Let's start where most lists are afraid to go. Number 7. Mazda CX-50. The Mazda CX-50 earned a near-perfect reliability score from Consumer Reports. And here's the twist nobody talks about. It's the SUV that shouldn't exist. Mazda almost killed this project 3 times during development. Why? Because accountants said building an SUV this well would cost too much. Here's where it gets interesting. The CX-50 uses something called optimized structural integrity engineering. Sounds boring, right? But what it actually means is this Mazda overbuilt almost every component. The suspension designed for vehicles weighing 800 pounds more. The engine mounts triple reinforced when competitors use single-layer designs. They engineered this thing like they were preparing for apocalypse driving. And the result? Owner-reported problems are 73% lower than the segment average. But here's the conflict. Dealerships hate selling these. You want to know why? The profit margin is smaller because Mazda refuses to cheap out on parts. So salespeople will try steering you toward anything else. They'll say it's too small or underpowered. But the data tells a different story. The 2.5-liter engine produces 227 horsepower, and it's mated to a 6-speed automatic that's been bulletproof since 2019. Here's the thing. This transmission was tested for 500,000 miles before production. Most manufacturers test for 150,000. Mazda went 3 times further, and it shows. The interior quality punches so far above its price point that luxury brands started complaining. Real stitched materials, metal toggle switches, a rotary control dial that feels like it belongs in a $70,000 German sedan. And Consumer Reports measured interior noise levels at highway speeds. The CX-50 was quieter than SUVs, costing $15,000 more. But here's the tension point. This SUV has one weakness. The infotainment system is a generation behind. No touchscreen on most trims, and that's intentional. Mazda's engineers believe touchscreens are dangerous while driving, so they went old school with physical controls. Controversial? Absolutely. But here's the kicker. Owners report 94% satisfaction with the interface after 3 months. Turns out buttons and knobs actually work. And this changes everything when you realize the CX-50 has nearly 0 reported electrical problems. Compare that to touchscreen-heavy competitors with failure rates hitting 12 to 18%. Mazda played the long game, and they won. Number 6. Toyota Highlander Hybrid. Number 6 is where things get expensive. But stay with me, because what Toyota did here rewrote the reliability playbook. The Highlander Hybrid earned a 91 reliability score from Consumer Reports. But here's the mystery nobody talks about. This SUV uses a powertrain that's technically 15 years old. The hybrid system. It's evolved from the original 2008 design. And that's not a weakness. It's a weapon. You want to know the secret to Toyota's reliability? Boredom. They perfected technology, then refused to change it unless absolutely necessary. The Highlander's hybrid system has been refined through 4 generations, millions of miles, and countless real-world scenarios. It's not cutting edge, it's bulletproof. Here's where it gets interesting. The Highlander Hybrid has 3 rows, seats 8 people, and gets 36 MPGe combined. Let me repeat that: 36 MPGe in a 3-row SUV. That shouldn't be possible with current physics. But Toyota's engineers found a loophole. Planetary gear sets that blend power sources so efficiently that energy loss is almost 0. And the tension: this SUV costs $8,000 more than the regular Highlander. Dealerships will push you toward the non-hybrid, saying you'll never make up the difference in gas savings. But here's what they won't tell you. The hybrid has a 98% battery reliability rate over 10 years. The resale value is 22% higher. And when you calculate total cost of ownership, the hybrid is actually $4,200 cheaper over 5 years. But wait, there's a conflict brewing. The Highlander hybrid has a 12-month waiting list at most dealerships. Toyota can't build them fast enough because demand has exploded. So what dealers do is clever and infuriating. They'll claim they have one in stock to get you in the door, then switch you to a non-hybrid with similar features. Don't fall for it. The Highlander's interior is spacious, but not luxurious. It's the IKEA of SUVs. Functional, durable, slightly boring. But here's the twist. Consumer Reports found that boring interiors correlate with higher reliability. Why? Fewer complex features mean fewer failure points. The Highlander has manual climate controls, physical buttons, and a simple gear selector, and it works flawlessly for 300,000 miles. Owners report only one consistent complaint: the third row is tight for adults. But here's what no one expected. Toyota designed it that way intentionally. Tighter third rows mean more cargo space when folded. And crash testing shows compact third rows actually protect occupants better in rear impacts. Toyota chose safety over comfort. And the data proves they were right. Number 5. Subaru Outback. Number 5 is the vehicle that mechanics secretly buy for their families. And when you see why, you'll understand why Subaru owners are basically a cult. The Outback isn't technically an SUV. It's a lifted wagon. But Consumer Reports classifies it here because of ground clearance and capability. And this is where things get weird. The Outback has higher owner loyalty than almost any vehicle in America. 87% of Outback owners buy another Outback. That's not normal. That's addiction. But here's the conflict. The Outback is objectively ugly. It looks like a minivan that went to CrossFit. The design is polarizing and Subaru knows it, but they refuse to change it because function beats fashion in their engineering philosophy. And that philosophy created something remarkable. The Outback uses Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Here's what makes it different. Power splits 50/50 front to rear at all times. Most AWD systems are front-biased and only engage the rear when slipping. Subaru's approach means better traction always, but it costs more to manufacture. Competitors won't do it because profit margins suffer. Subaru does it anyway. And the result? The Outback has a Consumer Reports reliability score of 89 and owner-reported problems that are 68% below average. But here's the tension. The Outback is slow. The base engine is a 2.5-liter four-cylinder making 182 horsepower. That's anemic by modern standards. Acceleration is described as adequate at best. 0 to 60 takes 9.2 seconds. And here's what that means for you if you need to merge onto highways quickly or pass on two-lane roads. You'll be planning ahead. The CVT transmission isn't an enthusiast favorite either. But here's the thing in real-world use. It's proven reliable. Subaru engineered for durability, not excitement. And owners who prioritize reliability over performance don't care about the slow acceleration. They care that the Outback never breaks down. The interior is practical, but plain. Hard plastics, straightforward controls, cloth seats, standard. But the cargo space is massive. Fold the rear seats, and you can fit camping gear, mountain bikes, or enough IKEA furniture for a small apartment. I'll be honest, the Outback won't win beauty contests. But 87% owner loyalty doesn't lie. When people buy this vehicle, they buy it again. That's the ultimate reliability endorsement. If this breakdown is saving you from making a $50,000 mistake, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more no BS automotive truth that dealerships don't want you knowing. Now, let's keep going. Number 4. Honda CR-V Hybrid. The CR-V Hybrid earned a 90 reliability score from Consumer Reports. It's the SUV that Honda engineered like they were building a spaceship on a budget. Here's what nobody talks about. Honda looked at Toyota's hybrid complexity and said, we can do better. They simplified everything. The CR-V Hybrid uses a 2-liter 4-cylinder paired with electric motors, producing a combined 204 horsepower. But here's where it gets interesting. The system is so simple that it has fewer components than Toyota's setup. Fewer components mean fewer things to break. The electric motor can drive the wheels independently at low speeds, which means smooth, seamless power delivery. No lag, no weird transitions. And the fuel economy? 40 MPGe combined. That's exceptional for a compact SUV with this much space. But here's the tension. The CR-V Hybrid has one weakness: road noise. On rough surfaces, you'll hear it. Honda prioritized cost efficiency over sound insulation. They wanted to keep the price competitive, and sound-deadening materials are expensive. The trade-off means the CR-V Hybrid costs less than comparable hybrids. And here's what that means for you. You're getting Toyota-level efficiency at a Honda price point. The ride quality is firm, bordering on sporty. Some people love it, others wish it was softer, but the handling is sharp and confidence-inspiring. Honda tuned this for drivers who actually enjoy driving. The cargo space is the best in class. Seriously. The CR-V Hybrid has more usable cargo volume than the RAV4 Hybrid, the Mazda CX-50, even the Subaru Outback. Honda's engineers obsessed over every cubic inch. Fold the rear seats, and you can fit full sheets of plywood flat on the floor. The interior is practical but not luxurious. It's Honda. Functional, durable, straightforward. No fancy materials, just good ergonomics and controls that make sense. And the regenerative braking system is seamless. Most hybrids have a weird transition when the regenerative braking hands off to friction brakes. The CR-V Hybrid's transition is imperceptible. It's a tiny detail that creates massive satisfaction. Number 3. Lexus RX 350h. The RX 350h earned a 92 reliability score from Consumer Reports. It's what happens when Toyota takes their bulletproof hybrid system and wraps it in a luxury package. This is the vehicle for people who want reliability, but refuse to drive something boring. The RX 350h uses a 2.5-liter four-cylinder hybrid, making 246 horsepower combined. It's smooth. It's refined. It's everything you expect from Lexus. But here's what makes it special. It's a luxury SUV with Toyota-level reliability. That combination is rare. Most luxury brands sacrifice reliability for features. Lexus refuses to make that trade. The cabin is exceptionally quiet. Lexus engineers obsess over noise levels. They use triple-sealed doors, acoustic glass, and sound-deadening materials in places most brands ignore. The result? At highway speeds, the RX 350h is quieter than rivals, costing $20,000 more. The interior materials are premium. Real leather, real wood, metal accents, not fake, not plastic pretending to be something else. The build quality is exceptional. Panels fit perfectly. Switches operate with precision. Everything feels over-engineered. But here's the tension. The RX 350h has one weakness. The infotainment system has a learning curve. Lexus uses something called Remote Touch, which is a trackpad-style controller. Some people love it. Most people find it frustrating for the first month. It's not intuitive, like a touchscreen. But here's the kicker. Once you learn it, it works. And like the Mazda CX-50, the lack of a touchscreen means fewer electrical problems. The RX 350h also costs significantly more than the Honda CR-V Hybrid. You're paying a premium for the Lexus badge and the luxury refinement, but here's what you're getting for that premium predicted reliability that matches or exceeds the cheaper alternatives. The driving experience is serene. The hybrid system is invisible. The ride quality is plush but controlled. This is the smart money choice for buyers who want luxury without the German repair bills. Lexus figured out how to build a luxury SUV that doesn't bankrupt you after warranty expires. And that's why mechanics who can afford the upgrade buy these for their families. They know what breaks and what doesn't. Number 2. Mazda CX-90. The CX-90 earned a near-perfect reliability score from Consumer Reports based on early data. Mazda engineered this like they were trying to prove something to German luxury brands. And honestly, they succeeded. The CX-90 uses a turbocharged 3.3-liter inline-six engine with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. That's a mouthful. What it means is 340 horsepower, with excellent fuel efficiency for the power level. Inline-six engines are rare. They're expensive to manufacture. Most brands abandoned them years ago. Mazda brought one back because inline-sixes are inherently smoother than V6s. The result is refinement that shocks people. This engine is buttery smooth. No vibration, no harshness, just power that builds seamlessly. The 8-speed automatic transmission is equally refined. Shifts are quick but imperceptible. And the towing capacity? So, 5,600 pounds. That's more than most three-row SUVs. Mazda engineered this thing to pull boats and campers while maintaining refinement. and owners report zero transmission issues even when towing at maximum capacity. The third row is surprisingly adult-friendly. At 6 feet tall, you can sit back there for an hour without complaining. Compare that to luxury competitors, where third rows are punishment chambers. Mazda actually cared about all passengers. The ride quality is where Mazda shocked everyone. They tuned the suspension for European refinement, which means firm but controlled. It soaks up rough roads without feeling floaty. Passengers report less motion sickness than in softer riding competitors. Mazda nailed the balance. But here's what no one expected. The CX-90 has a brake-by-wire system that's smoother than anything in the segment. Most SUVs have jerky brake transitions when the regenerative system hands off to friction brakes. The CX-90's transition is imperceptible. It's a tiny detail that creates massive satisfaction. But here's the conflict. The CX-90 has one major flaw of visibility. There's a blind spot on the passenger rear quarter. The D-pillar is thick for structural reasons, and visibility suffers. Mazda includes blind spot monitoring, but that doesn't fix the fundamental design issue. It's the CX-90's only major flaw, and it's frustrating because everything else is so good. Here's the thing this vehicle proves. Mazda can compete with luxury brands. The interior materials are premium, the refinement is exceptional, and the predicted reliability matches or exceeds German rivals while costing less. But here's the controversy that's brewing. Dealers are marking up CX-90 seconds by $5,000 because demand is insane. Mazda threatened to pull allocations from dealers who price gouge, but it's still happening. If you want one, be prepared to fight or wait. Let me tell you something. The CX-90 represents a shift in the automotive landscape. Mainstream brands like Mazda are building vehicles that challenge luxury marques on refinement while maintaining better reliability. That's why German brands are nervous. Number 1. Toyota RAV4 Prime. And now, number 1. The SUV that broke every rule and became the vehicle that Consumer Reports calls near perfect. The Toyota RAV4 Prime earned a 94 reliability score, the highest of any SUV Consumer Reports has tested in 5 years. But here's what makes it absolutely insane. It's a plug-in hybrid that's faster than a Porsche Macan. Let me say that again. This Toyota family SUV with a plug does 0 to 60 inches 5.5 seconds. It has 302 horsepower. It will embarrass sports cars at red lights. And it gets 94 MPGe when running on electric power. That combination shouldn't exist in the same vehicle. But here's the tension nobody talks about. You can't actually buy one. The RAV4 Prime has a waiting list that's 18 to 24 months long at most dealerships. Toyota allocates about $40,000 per year to the US market, and demand is triple that, so dealers are marking them up by $10,000. It's automotive insanity. Why is demand so crazy? Because Toyota accidentally created the perfect vehicle. It has 42 miles of pure electric range, which covers most daily commutes with zero gas. Then the hybrid system kicks in for longer trips, giving you 600 total miles of range. You get EV efficiency for errands and road trip capability when needed. But here's where it gets better. The RAV4 Prime can power your house. The plug works both ways. You can pull up to 1,500 watts out of the battery. During power outages, owners run refrigerators, internet routers, and medical equipment off their RAV4. Toyota engineered a backup generator that also happens to be an SUV. The all-wheel drive system is pure electric on the rear axle. There's no drive shaft, no mechanical connection, just a 54 horsepower electric motor spinning the rear wheels independently. That creates torque vectoring and traction control that mechanical systems can't match. The RAV4 Prime goes places that shock Jeep owners. But here's the conflict. The interior is aggressively average. Hard plastics, basic cloth seats on lower trims, a dated infotainment system. It looks like a $28,000 RAV4. Even though you're paying $45,000. Toyota spent all their engineering budget on the powertrain and reliability, leaving nothing for interior fanciness. And you know what? Owners don't care. Consumer Reports found 97% satisfaction after 2 years. Because when a vehicle saves you $3,000 annually on gas, never breaks down, and makes your morning commute feel like driving a Tesla, you forgive the economy-grade plastic dashboard. Here's what dealers won't tell you: the RAV4 Prime qualifies for up to $7,500 in federal tax credits, depending on your situation. That drops the effective price to $37,500. Suddenly, it costs the same as a loaded Honda CR-V, but offers performance that competes with luxury SUVs. The battery placement is genius. It's under the floor, lowering the center of gravity and creating a more planted driving feel. The RAV4 Prime handles corners better than the regular RAV4, despite weighing 600 pounds more. Physics seems broken, but it's just excellent engineering. And here's the final plot twist that changes everything. The RAV4 Prime has predicted reliability through 10 years that matches the regular Highlander hybrid. Toyota's plug-in system is so over-engineered that adding complexity didn't hurt reliability. That's unprecedented. Every other plug-in hybrid has lower reliability than the regular hybrid version. Toyota figured out something nobody else could. But there's one weakness, and it's maddening: the charge time. On a standard 120-volt outlet, it takes 12 hours to fully charge. You basically need a 240-volt Level 2 charger installed at home, which costs $1,500. Toyota should include one, but doesn't. It's a nickel-and-dime move that frustrates owners. Still, the RAV4 Prime represents something bigger than one vehicle. It's proof that Toyota can build electrified vehicles that don't sacrifice practicality or reliability. It's the bridge between gas and electric that actually works. And it's why legacy automakers are terrified. If Toyota can make EVs this good while maintaining their reliability reputation, everyone else is in trouble. But here's what none of these rankings tell you, and this is critical. Consumer Reports found something in their long-term data that automotive executives tried to bury. 5 of these 7 SUVs have owner loyalty rates above 80%. That means owners are so satisfied they buy the same vehicle again. But the industry average is 47%. These aren't just reliable SUVs. They're vehicles engineered so well that they create lifetime customers. And dealerships hate that, because lifetime customers don't shop around. They don't fall for upsells. They know exactly what they want. That's why you'll walk into dealerships and hear salespeople trash-talking these exact models. They're protecting their commission structure, not your best interests. So here's the reality. Consumer Reports spent millions testing these vehicles. They tracked owner experiences across hundreds of thousands of miles. And these 7 SUVs rose to the top, not because of marketing budgets or flashy features, but because they simply refuse to break down. The RAV4 Prime sits at number 1, not because it's perfect, it's not, but because it delivers reliability, performance, and efficiency in a combination that nothing else matches. That's the formula. That's what near perfect actually means. Bottom line, if you're shopping for an SUV and reliability matters to you, these 7 vehicles represent the smart money, not the trendy choice. Not what the dealer wants to sell you. The choice that's backed by data, owner satisfaction, and real-world performance. Make the decision that protects your wallet and your peace of mind. If this breakdown saved you from making a $50,000 mistake, hit that like button, subscribe for more no BS automotive truth that dealerships don't want you knowing, and drop a comment telling me which of these 7 you'd actually buy. Because the right SUV isn't about what's trendy, it's about what works. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.